One of the great new features with the Rotolight NEO II is all the special effects or color effects features available with the light. The NEO 1 had 7, now we're up to 12, and I want to take you through all of them, tell you what they do, and possibly how to get the best out of each setting. As well as with the 3-light kit, you have a lot of versatility with this, and this is something that you used to need a lot of specialized lighting for, a lot of dimmer packs, different gel packs, and all these things to get similar effects. And the NEO Light 2 does it all within just one package and one menu system. So it's really cool that we have this versatility now. So without further ado, let me dig in and show you what we have. So I'm going to turn the light around here so you can see the menu system. Now we did do some previous videos. If you haven't seen our basic setup video, the link will be in the description below, but we'll take you through the menu system now. And as with our previous video, we just toggle over, and now we're in the special effects. So here we have, the first one up is our strobing effect, very classic one. We have our lightning effect. We have our throbbing effect, which I would have preferred to call the pulsing, but they seem to like the word throbbing. Then we have color cycle, so this is going to cycle between tungsten and daylight. We have our fire effect, another very classic effect. We have our police, that's a very classic effect as well, so any emergency services effect. Our television effect, so if you have your actors watching TV and you want to simulate the TV cast. We have a shot effect, which is just simulating the flash from a muzzle fire, that type of thing. Neon is to sort of give you the essence of a faulty neon light, that type of thing. And film effect is for projectors, so you're doing a theater type thing, this will give you that effect. And then we have our welding effect, which just simulates an arc of a welding torch. And then finally our paparazzi, which is, well, self-explanatory. It's like a bunch of flash bulbs going off. So let's go all the way back and let's start with strobe. What we do is we bring up the strobe and we hit the right button. The right button is going to start it. Then we have a bunch of options. Now with these button knobs, what we can do is we can simply turn them. So this is our duty cycle, which is the duration on the left. And on the right, we have our frequency, so how often it occurs. But with every single effect, if you push and hold, one is going to be your maximum intensity of your light power. And on the right-hand side, you're going to have your color temperature. So you can dial in your specific color temperature as you wish. But duty cycle, intensity, and then of course we still have our brightness and color temperature. And then to get back out, we just simply hit the left button and we're back into our menu. Okay, so moving on to our lightning effect. Our lightning effect operates in the exact same way the strobe does. So I click to enter it. Again, here I have my frequency. On my left-hand side, I have the duty cycle, which tells me the length of the pulse itself, that type of thing, and it's kind of randomized. And then again, we have maximum intensity by pushing and turning, and we have our color temperature as we wish. That pretty simple stuff, and then we back out with the left button, and we're back into our menu. Next up is our throbbing effect, which I would have preferred that they call it the pulsing, but hey, throb away. So this is actually a little simpler than both the strobe and the lighting. We get into this here, and both dials just control the pulsing. So either or, doesn't really matter which one you choose, they're going to do the same thing. And once again, maximum brightness by push and hold, and then color temperature. Very simple stuff. And then left button, back out to the menu. Okay, so moving on to our color cycle. This is just going to cycle between tungsten and daylight. And again, this is like the throbbing feature where both buttons do the exact same thing. So I'll get into this. There's my frequency, and you can see that both achieve the same thing. So really, really slow transition between tungsten and daylight, and really, really fast transition between tungsten and daylight. And then back out to our menu, and here we go. Okay, so next up is the classic fire feature. Now, the feature itself, if you can see, if I just initiate it, it's really just a matter of luminance, right? Luminance and delay time, like how long the fire flickers and how long it sort of like fades out for. So again, the left is sort of that duty cycle, and the right is your frequency. But this doesn't really address color. And of course, light has a variety of colors depending on the heat source and that type of thing. So it could be anywhere from very red and very orange to a little bit of blue, that type of thing. So this is where the color pack is going to come in. And they recommend CTO for your best choice. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just place in a CTO gel, so color temperature orange. that comes with the additional lighting effects kit. And this is another opportunity for us to do multiple light sources. So I'm going to take maybe a red and a color temperature straw, so CTS, and give us just some options. And the idea here too is not just with the color that's going to fluctuate, but you also want to make that each lamp is at a different sort of pattern or frequency. Okay. Delay time. And we got our little firelight. So 3-light kit, you can do a nice little fire. This is just quick, obviously, but you can fine tune it and get it to where you want to get it to. But the firelight works pretty cool as a 3-light kit, or if I just turn these off, we've got a nice little sort of pulsing campfire right here with the single light. Okay, next up is our emergency services, so our police setting. And this is something you can accomplish just with one light, just by gelling it blue or red. Oftentimes an ambulance or a fire truck is just simply red, but if there's police on scene, often you're going to introduce blue, and you get a little bit more production value when you do more than one light. And so that's the great versatility of the 3-light kit, is it gives you a lot more options. So I'll just show you what the basic one looks like if I just have the blue pulsing here. Both of these knobs will control the frequency as to which it happens. So you can use either the right or the left. And you can just see the pulsing on my hand. Now, when I introduce a red light, it's going to get a lot more interesting. As well as you want to make sure that these lights are split far enough apart from each other that you're not getting a purple cast in the middle as the two lights blend. And I can just click that one. And that looks pretty realistic as far as, you know, what happens on an emergency scene. So next up is our TV simulation. Now this one doesn't require any gels, but they do have a recommended setting. So I'm going to click into it, and again we get into our frequency as to which the movement occurs with it. But what they do recommend is by changing the Kelvin setting to 6000 for the most realistic setting. So we're just going to push and hold that right knob, and there we go. We have our TV simulation. It's quite subtle. I mean, we can make it a little less subtle by bringing up the flicker response. But that's pretty much supposed to simulate your television. All right, so moving on to shot. This just simulates a muzzle fire shot. Super simple. There's not much to this one. We click through it. Again, we have our sort of speed of the actual flash itself. But to trigger it is just with the right button. Bam, we just got a trigger right there. Now, if you don't want to trigger it on the lamp head itself, you can have a remote trigger through the PC sync port. But this is pretty much it. You just play around and then back out, and we're back into our regular menu again. Following shot is our faulty neon sign simulation. I've put a pink gel in here because while it's not totally the right pink for neon, it gives you an idea. Simply we go into it, and there's our neon sign. And you got that beautiful little neon high frequency flicker embedded in there. Awesome effect. I think it's super realistic, which is great. And then you can control the frequency of all of that, and then back out. Following neon is our film simulation, and by film they mean a projector in a theater, and so people are watching the cinema, and this is the light cast off of the projector screen. So basically it's very simple. Again, we enter into this feature by clicking the right button. Now, the Rotolight PDF does say that the right controls the movement on the screen, or the simulation of the movement on the screen, whereas the left controls the flicker of the frame rate. However, I haven't really been able to get it to do that. It seems like both control the same thing. So your guess is as good as mine. Maybe I'm not doing something right. Okay, so the special effects train keeps moving on, and after film, we have our arc welder sort of feature. And one of the cool things about this is not only does the light cast from a welder change in luminance, but it also changes in color temperature. And this light will address both of those things. So when I get into it here, you can see that it is not only just changing the pulsing, but it is changing the temperature from sort of different levels of Kelvin. And both dials will do virtually the same thing. They're just changing the rate at which it happens. And once again, left button, back out into the menu. Well, kids, it's been a hell of a journey, but we are on to our final special effects or color effects feature, and that is our paparazzi, so Papa. And again, a very, very simple feature. I click it, and here we go. There's our flash mob, if you will. of photographers. So roll out the red carpet. This is your time to shine. Stand in front of this and dream big dreams. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. 12 great new features that are in this device. I encourage you, if you want to try this out, to come to Vistek and rent the 3-light kit from us, or just take a dive and buy it, because I know that you are going to be really excited by all the features that are with this light. And if you haven't seen our other videos, again, in the description below, you'll find our introductory video to this light, as well as all the different flash settings. And that's about it for now. So thanks for watching, and happy shooting.